Uh-oh. Okay, we'll start with this. You may have heard that Oscar De La Hoya did not do another segment of his Ass Clap Thursdays.
May not do another one again.
Took to his social media and stated, due to haters, robots, reporting Clapback Thursday, I will not waste my precious time speaking the facts only to have it removed. Happy holidays and let's make CBT great again in 2025.
It's childish.
Because I don't think it was haters and robots that had the latest installment of Clapback Thursday taken down. No, that might have been Sky Nicholson or those who support her.
It might have been Oscar himself, and this is just a veiled explanation.
It's all well and good to take shots at your professional rivals in what is a professional rivalry. But what Oscar did, that was crossing a line. That was just malicious.
He knows what he said, and you all heard him. He implied that Eddie Hearn is having an extramarital affair with Sky Nicholson. And I half expected Eddie to address it at some point this week. Perhaps it's better that he didn't.
I half expected somebody in the media to ask him about it, but perhaps nobody felt the nerve.
Because it's uncalled for.
Not even because it isn't true. It very well could be. But what people do behind closed doors is their own business. And implying that Sky is sleeping with Eddie sounds too much like quid pro quo.
You know that Eddie Hearn could sue you for that. And you know that she could too.
That's the real reason that video was taken down. And that's why Oscar might not be doing any more of those videos. Like I said, there's having a professional rivalry, and then there's this.
And who the hell is Oscar that he should point the finger at someone for having an affair like he's never had one of his own?
I'm fairly confident that Oscar De La Hoya has run around on his then-wife several times.
What about the bro code?
Well, Oscar's always been a bit on the weird side. He's the kind of guy that uses anal beads and cock rings.
Fleshlights.
Doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that knows about the bro code, and even if he does, well, Eddie Hearn is not his bro. That's what makes this so malicious, though. Now, there were some that were enjoying Oscar's weekly Ass Clap Thursday segments. I wasn't one of them. It seemed to me like he was just the guy throwing stones in a glass house. That yes, the people you don't like and your rivals, they might have their shortcomings, but so do you. To the point to where you're really in no position to focus on theirs and point out theirs. You have your own issues to tend to.
The rift with your starfighter, Ryan Garcia.
All that stuff about his exhibition with Rakuya Enpo going through or not going through, that you have your own matters to tend to, that you don't need to worry about what Eddie's doing with Sky Nicholson or anybody else.
The whole thing to me was childish and stupid, and it only really appealed to childish and stupid people, as Americans really do have a penchant,
an affinity for infantile behavior and making stupid people famous or gravitating towards stupid things, stupid behaviors.
Stupid.
I can only hope that the populace can grow out of this childish phase. Oscar De La Hoya is 51 years old. You need somebody to tell you that you can't say stuff like this publicly because of what the implications are, the implications to Eddie, the implications to Sky. You're basically accusing him of quid pro, and he can sue you for that. Sky.
Think about what this does to her and her public image. It's not that the rumors aren't out there, we've all heard them, but it's something else entirely when someone of Oscar's stature with that profile...
What are you, a moron?
He's got no situational awareness, and he's so driven by malice, by contempt for Eddie Hearn, that he wasn't thinking when he said that stuff.
Just an excuse to bring up Canelo Alvarez every week, because that's basically what he did at the end of every episode. It was pathetic.
And I didn't find it amusing.
It's been 5 years since that guy left Golden Boy Promotions. You're still mad? Get over it. Your precious time. It seems like you have a lot of it if you're still thinking about Canelo.
Not so precious if what you use it to focus on is Eddie Hearns' sex life.
Don't you have anything better to do or anything better to think about?
Grow up.
But you know, that's what happened. Oscar claims that haters and bots had his post taken down, when in reality, he might have taken it down himself under counsel from his legal team. You can't just say stuff like that about people.
So maybe Sky, or some of her supporters, or Eddie, or somebody had the post taken down, or maybe Oscar realized what he was saying, and he took it down himself.
Men's super middleweight news. Canelo Alvarez is open to facing Terence Crawford or Jake Paul, doing business with Turki El Sheikh. Saul Canelo Alvarez faced the assembled media on Thursday for the first time since September, when he scored a knockdown and a UD win over Edgar Berlanga. Alvarez, 62-2 with 2 draws, 39 knockouts, was front and center at a ribbon-cutting ceremony in Chula Vista, California, for the grand opening of El Pastor del Rica, a new Mexican restaurant. Aside from revealing that Alvarez's favorite choice on the menu is the tacos El Pastor, the super middleweight king provided updates on how he'll move about his career in the coming year. When Alvarez was asked if he would entertain a much-discussed clash against Terence Crawford, the Mexican star told a group of reporters, "Now I'm working on other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet, so maybe in January we're going to start doing that." Alvarez was also asked to share his current position on working with Turki El Sheikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority in Saudi. "I never say no to business," said Alvarez. "So if it's business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what."
The rift between Canelo and Turki seemed to have centered around pressure to give Turki an answer. And I said it in my previous video, Canelo Alvarez is not a guy you can squeeze or pressure.
He's not going to put up with that. So at a time when he was focused on Edgar Berlanga, he wasn't entertaining conversations about anything or anyone else. Turki didn't like that. Turki's not used to guys saying no to him.
Because most guys can't. Canelo Alvarez, he can.
But when it's all said and done, Canelo Alvarez really is the businessman that so many pugilists pretend to be, and that's why he's leaving the door open to work with Turki El Sheikh. It's not off the table. That's just what the rift was, but they can overcome it.
Crawford.
It appears Alvarez's statement would similarly apply to a potential fight with Jake Paul, who is fresh off a lucrative meeting with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. I felt sad about what I saw from Mike Tyson because at his age and everything, he can't do that kind of stuff, said Alvarez. But you know, it's business for them. It's fine. Whatever. I thought about getting revenge for Mike when I saw the fight, when I saw the injustice, but we'll see. I'm in my thing.
Entertaining a fight with Terence Crawford.
It's like I said, whether you like Terence Crawford's chances or not, there are some people that do. Some people are convinced that Terence can win enough that this can be a big fight. It can bring two separate fan bases together to the table to purchase this pay-per-view.
And if anybody can make it worth Canelo Alvarez's while, it is Turki El Sheikh. There is certainly more money in boxing Terence Crawford than, say, William Skull or Diego Pacheco or any of those guys in the super middleweight division. Fighting Terence would pay better.
Terence Crawford, seemingly reacting to Canelo Alvarez's comments, took to his social media and said, "2025, I will show the world once again how great I am." He was only able to get out there once this year. People tend to forget that he was all tied up with what was supposed to be an Errol Spence Jr. rematch. Errol had a rematch clause. He activated it, and for a while, Terence was all tied up with that. He couldn't fight anybody else until Errol decided to forego the rematch and go in another direction.
That costed Terence some time, but he was able to get out there once against Israel Madrimov to become a 4-division champion. The latest on him is that he suffered a minor injury.
He is 37 years old. That is reason enough to believe that Father Time is starting to catch up.
And he wants to move up to super middle to fight Canelo. Okay.
Jake Paul, like Terrence Crawford, reacted to Canelo's comments saying, "Why the hell would I give him the payday? When I beat him, it would be the same bullshit and lies that Canelo was too small and Jake paid him off."
Is he trolling?
Probably. This used to be a fight that Jake Paul wanted. This used to be a fight that he himself was calling for. So that when Canelo Alvarez finally entertains it, oh, now you don't want to do it?
In combat sports, it really doesn't get bigger than Mike Tyson. Who else are you going to conjure up to keep that momentum going?
That's going to be hard to top in terms of reach, in terms of getting eyes on the show. It's going to be hard to top what he did with Mike Tyson. And even if the event did not play out how so many wanted it to, the way you could get eyes back on you is with Canelo Alvarez, because he brings to the table a large audience of his own, and they would love to see him knock you out.
You've got your audience, and he's got his.
So why wouldn't you want to do it? It would be bigger than a Tommy Fury rematch. Tommy Fury, whose fight with Darren Till recently got canceled.
A fight with Canelo would be bigger than that because Canelo has more fans than Tommy Fury.
You're not going to do in a Tommy Fury rematch what you did with Mike Tyson. But with Canelo, now you're cooking with rice. Or maybe KSI. Maybe he'll have to conjure up another social media influencer like himself.
Maybe.
If what that thing was the beginning of a partnership between Jake and Netflix to be the distributor of his events, yes, the Canelo fight would be huge. So I'm not sure why he wouldn't want to do it, unless the jig is up and he's actually worried that Canelo will be able to do what all those basketball players and MMA fighters and retirees were not able to do. Canelo can knock you out.
Is that why he doesn't want to do it? Is that the difference? That when you go in there with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, yeah, it's Mike Tyson, but he's practically a senior citizen. You're not worried about him knocking you out. But Canelo,
well, he's not a senior citizen. He's not a retiree. He's a sitting champion that is still competing against other real boxers, like you claim to be.
I just don't see why Jake would have changed his mind. Why would he not want to fight him now? It's still big. Hell, it might be bigger.
Bigger than when he first started calling for it. Or is it that when he first started calling for it, yeah, he was just saying that. He never actually expected to get it, and he never actually expected that Canelo would entertain it, so that when he does...
Well, I don't want it.
He's got to be trolling if he thinks he's the one that's going to give Canelo anything, if he thinks he's the one that's going to give him a payday.
You're joking. You gotta be.
I mean, it's good that he did what he did with Mike. He was able to get that many eyes on the fight, but make no mistake, a lot of those eyes were there for Mike.
What do you think? You sold that thing by yourself?
You didn't get that same reception when you fought Tyrone Woodley for the second time. Anderson Silva?
Nope.
Andre August, Mike Perry. You didn't do with them what you did with Mike.
You need a name.
As far as Canelo, and what people would say if he were to go through with a Jake Paul fight, well, there might be some criticism at first, but I think people would forgive him if he's the one who runs the circus out of town.
Yeah, I know Canelo's smaller than Jake, but I also know that this guy's got experience that you can't buy.
I'm telling you, Canelo can walk in there at 175, 180 pounds. Jake, you can let him weigh 220, 225, and I'm confident Canelo would knock him out.
Yeah.
This ain't no basketball player, a bare-knuckle boxer, a mixed martial artist.
This ain't no reality TV star like Tommy Fury, and remember, Tommy beat him.
If they do the fight, Canelo knocks him out. So I don't know. Maybe that's why he doesn't want it all of a sudden.
I don't know.
I'm getting sent. I'm a tune-up fight for Yarde for the third fight. Well, that will get me out of bed. That will get me out of bed. Let's actually train for this one. Let's do it. Let's make Arthur Yarde free. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that.
So that was a response from Lyndon Arthur. You understand that? A response. He was responding to Anthony Yarde because according to Anthony, that's the fight that he wants to have next. That would be the best one. A trilogy with Lyndon Arthur, who when last they met, Anthony stopped him.
He got his revenge.
I noticed an influx of Anthony Yarde news this past week. Stories I didn't expect to hear. Names.
Because I did not expect to hear about a Lyndon Arthur trilogy or an Andre Dirrell fight.
I noticed that Tunde Ajayi had uploaded a video of Andre Dirrell calling out Anthony Yarde with a caption that reads, yeah,
We've had this Anthony's whole career. They talk, but when it comes to signing the fight, they go on honeymoons or take romantic trips to Paris. Nevertheless, Andre Dirrell, if you really want the Matrix, then we ready to Neo-Morpheus you, my friend. Now, I don't know why Anthony Yarde or Tunde Ajayi would entertain a call-out from Andre Dirrell, who is irrelevant to today's light heavyweight division. The man hasn't boxed since November of 2022. The man hasn't fought in 2 years.
Even if he did call you out, so what?
You left Queensberry Promotions for this? A Lyndon Arthur trilogy? An Andre Dirrell fight? And who's supposed to pay for those?
Boxer.
So when it was announced that Anthony Yarde was trying to enter free agency and leave Frank Warren, the initial assumption was that he would migrate over to Boxer to fight Joshua Buatsi, that they would make that fight over there. But as it turns out, Joshua Buatsi is boxing Callum Smith at Riyadh Season, and Anthony... So they never said that Anthony Yarde entered into a multi-fight deal with Boxer, likely to absolve them of culpability.
Huh?
Remember, according to Anthony Yarde, he was a free agent, but according to Frank Warren, that wasn't the case, and he was still under contract. So that when he starts doing business with Ben Shalom behind the scenes, Ben doesn't sign him, not officially.
Oh yeah, Anthony's last fight was on a Boxer show, but it was never announced that he made a commitment to Boxer, because they don't want to be on a hook.
He fought on a Boxer show in October. Maybe that's some kind of a loophole, a technicality, so that when you're entertaining fights with the likes of Lyndon Arthur again, or Andre Dirrell, I'm left wondering who's going to pay for it. And Boxer almost immediately came to mind. They would pay for it, because what Anthony Yarde wants now is to stay on easy street for a while. He's had it rough. He went to Chelyabinsk, Russia for the Kovalev fight and lost.
A few years later, he fights Artur Beterbiev, loses to him. Brave guy!
But now he wants to take it easy. Of course, he could be making more money boxing at Riyadh Season if he were still with Queensberry. But those fights at Riyadh Season, those are risky fights. That's not easy money. This is.
He figures he can make easy money, safe money, over there at Boxer.
He can keep busy with an inactive Andre Dirrell or Lyndon Arthur while he waits for Joshua Buatsi and Callum Smith to settle up with each other. And if Joshua Buatsi wins, then that's a fight they can revisit.
But if you're wondering why Anthony Yarde is entertaining a Lyndon Arthur trilogy that no one is asking for, or an Andre Dirrell fight,
the short answer is safe money, easy money. He wants to stay on easy street for a while because he's had it rough.
Now, whether or not you want to hold that against him, I'll leave such judgments up to you.
But he's had about 2 tune-up fights already. The Marco Nikolic fight on the Queensberry side of things.
That was his last fight under Queensberry.
And the Ralph Vicans fight in October. That was his first fight under Boxer. A fight with a 2 years inactive Andre Dirrell is not much better than those fights.
But who says he wants it to be?